I made another kit. This one I decided to do purples and lavenders. And I want to show you the kit. And after we do the kit, I think I'm going to just hang out and just do make a few flowers out of some of the fabrics that I have in this kit or whatever. What I want you guys to do is that if you have any questions, just ask me and I'll answer questions. I'll try and look at the messages and comments. But in this lot, this one I think I'm going to just put it for $18. And it ended up just being a lot of a variety of things in it. So I'm going to show you some of the things I have in it. I have some beads. I think these are in cream and white. I don't know. This is about, it's more than a foot of it. One, looks like a 20 inches or so. And then I have other pieces of, I'm going to put all the beads. I'm going to show you all the beads. Anyway, so after I'm done showing you this lot, which I'm trying not going to take too long. It's all sitting in front of me. I'm going to then make some flowers with you guys. I love making flowers, and right now I feel like doing something, being creative with, things that are in front of me. So in this is, I'm Liz from Crafty Devotion, and I have an Etsy shop. In my Etsy shop is where you will find these kits. And right now I have 3 or 4 kits in there. I have a pink, now it's going to be a lavender purple, and I think I have a little bit of white left. And I think I'm going to stop here and start doing something else. But these are some of the beads that are in there. And I give you pieces so that you can use to embellish your projects. The reason I put these together is I used to make bigger lots for $50 or so, and now what I started doing is making these lots with little embellishments and stuff ready for you to grab and be inspired by a variety of items that are in my shop or in my stash, because a lot of these things are not even in my shop. Like I do carry some things, like I have these beads in my shop, and I think this bead in my shop, but I don't have all of these in my shop. I do have a lot of bling you can purchase separately in my shop, but a lot of things aren't. And this is a little piece of the Rococo trims I have in my shop. I have a whole lot of different varieties of these, and they always sell out, so I'm always trying to look for new ones and restock. Let's see. And then after we're done with showing you all of this, then I'm going to go ahead and we'll make something together. So those of you who just want to see what's in the lot can just look. These are just little filigrees. Now, most everything will be the same, but there are some things that will be different. Like every woman got a different little filigree. I put gold, but you will get two pieces, and they will all be different. Because what I'm doing is I'm taking my stash and different things, and I am, trying to put them in the lots, and I'm adding some of my regular things. Now these little images, these are paper. This one is a thin paper that you can either use in a project, you can, do what you want. And then these are smaller little images, and all of these will be different. So you will get different images for these, and all the images I saw were beautiful. So like this one is an image of a lady with beautiful flowers, and then this one is some little girls. This one happens to be almost like a Valentine one that I added in there. I just put a variety. The only thing that is the same is you will get 2 small ones and 1 big one, and the big ones are images of people. And so I'm just going through some of the things that I do have in this. So let's see. I told you guys last time that I'm doing projects and getting my house ready, because my grandbaby's going to come and live with us for a little while. And I'm just showing you this stuff while I talk. I can talk a lot. And I haven't had these in my shop for a while, but I actually found some, and I put some of this. in the lots, and it's a piece. What How long is this one? So the piece is, someone might get an 8-inch one, and then somebody might get a 9-inch one, or a 6-inch one. So that's when I say variations, that's what I mean. Because sometimes I have a couple of remnants and I cut the remnant in half or something like that. And let me just tilt this a little bit so I could see the any messages that come in. There we go. All right. And so these are the things that I have in the lot, a variety of little things. Now this one is kind of like on the blue side of the lavender, and I did have this in the other lot, the pink lot. And then here we go. And then these are more appliques. You can see. This one right here is a hand dyed one. I dyed this a long time ago, and I said, oh, I still have some of that. So it has like a purple tint to it, so I put that in there. And trying to get the stuff that are on top, because I took photos and I said, well, I'll before I put that lot away. And I did put a little bit of green in there, and the greens will be a variety of green colors, because one of the fabrics had green in it, and I decided I'll put some green in there. What other color do I want to add? So we have little fringes. Hi, Carmen. Hi. I'm just showing you this lot, and then I'm going to, after we're done with the lot, I'm going to just also make flowers afterwards. I'm just seeing what else I can put on here for you guys to look at. But these are little pieces. They're not long. Um, I think most of them are at least 8 inches. And so, for example, this one happens to be about 9 inches. And this one's about 10.5 inches. So that's what you'll find, a variety of different lengths. And this one, I only had a piece left, and I gave you 4 little applique pieces. And this is I actually have some, I don't have this color anymore. And I think that there was a little bit of discoloration in it, but I'm sure you guys will enjoy creating something with this. It's a crocheted cotton piece. And then here's some green, and I gave you this is the jade green um, rayon ribbon, the vintage discontinued I have in my Etsy shop. This is the jade green. And I gave you a lot of that one. I think I gave you I might be just under a yard of that one. And then let's see. Here's another applique. Pretty purple. Yes, I decided to make purple because I realized after I was putting stuff together, I was going to make a hot pink or magenta pink and light pink together. And I said, wow, I have a lot of purple. I think I'll do a purple. I know there's a lot of people who love purple. So I'm going to try and tell you some of the things I do have in my Etsy shop. A lot of the stuff I don't. This is just a piece of a sheer wide ribbon. And I don't know, it's probably, I don't know, 20 inches probably. So I gave this, in this lot, I gave you guys longer pieces because I had fewer variety. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like them because I want you to get inspired. And I kept this one, I made a lot of them. I think I made 15 of these kits. And usually when I make, 10 to 15 or so, sometimes usually I'll do 10. But I haven't done purple for a long time, and I had enough to give you even long pieces of some of the things I did. And then I give you some fibers. These are yarns, and I'll show you how to use some of these fibers when we make the flowers. Because I also like you guys to, I have a lot of videos on flower making, and I give you a lot of ideas, but I don't think I've ever taken like what's inside my lot and just kind of make a couple of little things. But as I go, when we're crafting, I'll give you ideas. So here's some more fibers. It's purple. So there's little bits of purple, and you can see why I put this purple fabric. And I did make most of the fabrics are approximately this size. Most of the fabrics I put in, and they're about 10 inches. I made them 10 inches. Why? Because you can use that in your fabric book, book if you want, or make a flower with it or whatever. But I also, other thing you can do with it is you can make one of my little dresses. I use 10 inches for my miniature dresses. And if you don't know, my miniature dresses, if you are on my channel, I when I first started, I didn't have an Etsy shop, but now I do. And I have the hangers you can buy separately. I have the bodices you can purchase separately. Um, so this is about 10 by 5. That's the piece. And most of the fabrics are that size. I think one of them I made bigger, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. So this one is why I took some of the green colors and some of the darker purples, and I added that in a little bit there. You see that? And then I also took in some greens, and I put, because I was putting different things that are green, I put a little bit of mint in there. You'll see that. And I gave you this also, a little bit of that. I put this one in the pink lot that I had also. And there's the green. All right, and then let's see what else. I do have the pink lot. If you did catch the pink lot. And this is a shimmer ribbon I have in my stash. I think I purchased this one time trying to decide, do I want to put it in my Etsy shop? And I did not. It's very metallic and shiny, so I think it'll be cool to use to decorate. And then this is another flower. This one has pink little pieces. And so what I do with these this is like a piece of a sheer fabric trim. And then I like to just cut them out. And when you're using these, you can either fussy cut it as much as you can, but if you want to put it on something, what you do is you say this background is white. You can see that it's white. So if I place it on top of a white lace, it actually pretty much disappears the the background. And then you can just add to it. So if you see that whenever you have these types, pay attention to what the background is. So the same with this one. This one has a white background. And so when you put it on something, it just almost disappears, the little sheer organza part. Okay, so then this is a piece of fabric, and this is a cotton, and this is a vintage piece. I found a vintage brand new piece of this trim. And let's see what else. There was another one of those metal pieces and another little heart. Okay, here. So this is what I'm talking about. Like this one is purple, and I just gave you a little piece because it was like the last, getting towards the end. No, I do have some more of that. And anyway, so there's this one I do carry. Have some in my shop, and you will see that if you put it on top of white, like that. See? But then if you put it on top of purple, it will change it. So if you find something closer to the background color, it might look better, but it also looks good like that. And you can fussy cut around that and use that in your project or on a card or whatever. And then this is just a piece of a fabric, more fibers, just a piece of a chiffon. I use these either in my, when I make my flowers, or you just make a bow with it. But so it's hand torn ribbon. It's what we call it. We call it hand torn ribbon. And it's just hand torn fabric. And here's a piece of a pink ruffle lace. I carry this one in my shop. Pink. I'm saying pink, but you know the colors. And then I gave you these two, and they're two different colors. You can see purple and lavender. And then I gave you some of this. This one I have in my Etsy shop too, and I said, well, it's not one of my best sellers. People, I don't know why they don't buy it because it's beautiful. But this is a sheer, and it feels almost like an eyelash lace, that softness that it has. And I gave you quite a bit of it, probably half a yard probably. And this one I think I gave you a half yard also. And this one is, I can show you how, I showed you guys how to make flowers with this trim that I have in my Etsy shop. And we can make a flower with some of that later. And then here's another ruffle trim. I carry this one in my Etsy shop. It's a nice soft chiffon, and it also makes beautiful flowers, very simple. If you sew it, you can make it flat, or you can layer it. And then this one, I just found this one in my stash. I said, oh, it's got purple, and it's really pretty. And I think again, this one I thought, should I carry it in my shop or not? And then I bought it, and I just never added it to my shop. It doesn't mean it won't go in my shop, especially if you guys say, I really like that one, buy more. And it came in different colors, I remember. So it's just that shiny metallic with the sheer flat, and that would make a pretty flower to ruffle it up too, as you can see. Okay, and then I gave you a little piece of a satin fabric, and then this fabric right here, and you'll see that it has different colors. Each piece looks different. Some of them have a bigger lavender, like the lavender on this one is here and some here. You can see that. So we can make flowers with that too. And then another torn fabric with some green in it. And then, oh, this one, I don't know if you guys have seen this one. I gave you a square. Oh, thank you. Trim is beautiful. I'm glad you like the trims because I know I want to try and pull things out of my shop, and like a lot of the things you see in the kits sometimes are just new things I purchased and I decided, oh, I don't think I'm going to carry that yet, or whatever reason. I didn't put it in my Etsy shop, but I put it in my stash. And I do that all the time. And this gorgeous piece is a piece of lace. The reason why I cut this one more square is because this would look really beautiful to make a Christmas ornament. I thought that was this is a pretty good size to make a Christmas ornament with it. I don't have a Christmas ball with me, but we'll pretend, oh wait, maybe this will look more like a ball. Let's see. So we'll pretend that this is a ball. So if you would wrap it around, we'll make a pretty glitter and then you can decorate it. So that's why I made that one a square. I just thought this is a stretchy one. See? So that will wrap very beautifully around a Christmas ball. And maybe I'll make some Christmas baubles with that this coming year. Because I know when I do make lavender, they do sell in my shop. And then this is a beautiful piece of a crochet type lace. It's nice and wide. This is one that I have used to make my little dresses. I don't think this is long enough to make one, but it would make a cute apron. Oh, I know. I used to do Christmas in July crafts, Carmen, but you know what? I guess I've just been too busy, and also some of you who know me know that I also struggle with my health. Plus, I'm raising a 7-year-old when he's 8 actually. I'm nearing 50. I'm not 50. I'm nearing 60. I'm going to turn on a fan. Hopefully it doesn't make a lot of noise. Now I'm going to open the window. I closed my window to get fresh air because my neighbors were making a lot of noise. Okay. So now we saw all the things, and if you can see, it's in one of these shoebox type bins, and it actually is, even though it's a small package, like when you get it, you will get them in a small bag like this. But it actually is a lot of things, as you can see. And I package them and I ship them, and these will weigh just under, these will ship first class. They're under 4 ounces. So they'll ship for 4 ounces when I add the bag or packaging. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this white so that we can start crafting. Now, I didn't even prepare anything for making flowers, but I decided, I'm just going to make a few flowers, and then if they want me to make more, I'll make more. And, all right. So this is just a bag of all the leftovers that I have. Leftover from the, I cut one too many of these, so that's what this is. So I just grabbed it out. So what do you guys want me to make a flower out of? We can make a flower out of the satin fabric. Usually when I use this type of satin, oh, well, in the pictures that are there, I think it's already 4 years ago that I made those pictures. A long time ago. I'm just really bad at updating my stuff. I know I can't imagine how people change it every season. I'm just not it. I'm not it. I think let's make a flower with this first. You're 55. Yeah, I started crafting when I was close to my empty nest, and I didn't even know that I was talented. I'm not saying I'm extremely talented. I'm just saying I didn't know that I had, I guess, a little bit of crafty talent. Different colors came up. And it was then when I was actually sick, and looks like I put other things in that bag from the other crafts. Let me put that to the side. So I have mostly, oh, there's more pink in there too. Look at that. This stuff was in the pink kit, I think, that I made the other day. Ooh, I just can I see what? I'm not sure. Okay. We're gonna start with just a flower out of this stuff. Okay, this one's cut pretty crooked. But with all of this technique, it's very easy to make flowers out of almost anything. I'm looking for a bobby pin. If that's what they were asking me about, I'm looking for a bobby pin. Here's one. Here's one. I told you I didn't get anything ready for the crafting. Nothing. Here's some pair of small scissors. I need bigger scissors than those. And I'll use these right here. Some of my Dollar Tree kid scissors. Those will work. So since this one's so crooked, I'm going to measure about how wide this one is. I think this one, I kept it out because it wasn't as straight and as wide. See, it's about, so that's close to, I'm going to cut it about 4 inches because I'm going to straighten it out. That's the first thing we're going to do. Now, so something like this, let's say that you were going to make, when you have sheer laces like this, you can put something, and then when you put this on top, the image comes through much better. So you see that? So if you were going to use it in one of your junk journals or a lot, this would look gorgeous on top, just like that. And you can make a pocket out of it or whatever you want, you know, and then you can embellish on top of this with everything else. But to make a flower, because that's what I'm going to show you, so you could see this piece looks different than the other one. All I do is I would cut it like this. And I showed you before you can wrap it around a ruler like this, just a piece of fabric. And this is the Ollalist technique I showed you with the bobby pin. Yeah. And sometimes I use my fingers, but I also like to show you guys how to use the rulers. And this ruler is the thinner ruler, and it looks like it's about 1 inch wide. Because see, this one is wider. Let's measure it. Yep, it's about 1 inch wide. So this is probably a Dollar Tree ruler, something like that. And then I roll it and I fold it. And since it's very little, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, I'm going to round the edges. You don't have to fold it in half. You can do each side separately. Okay, and then here, the thing is when you roll it, then all of the places where you cut it are with that one snip. And you just cut this way. The reason why you're cutting is because we're making petals. Okay. So as you can see, we made petals. Let's see if you can see that. So it's rounded petals, and there's petals on both sides. And where did I leave that bobby pin? Here it is. Okay. So when we made this one is smaller. You could decide to just leave it like that, or you can just shape it. For this particular one, it's just a smaller petal. Doesn't matter to me. And then we're going to take the pin and run it all the way down this way. So if you want a flatter flower, then put less fabric. So you could make a fluffy flower with this type of a lace or fabric. This is a piece of fabric. It's like the netting, a netting or something. Hi. Yes, this is the bobby pin method. Oh, I see somebody else. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. So if you guys have any questions, just ask me. And this is, let me just see how this fabric, any type of lace just makes such a beautiful flower. You see how that's the fabric in the craft kit. And I have my crochet lace, my crochet cotton crochet string. Just see that? So when you're making your flowers, now if you can see, I tightened it a bit. Then I'm pulling out the pin and I hold it with my finger. And then I tighten it again. At this point, you can decide to leave that string to the front or pull it to the back. A lot of times I'll pull it to the back usually. There we go. And I'll usually knot again in the back. Now the thing about this string when you put it on here, I know a lot of times we cut it off, but if you're making them for yourself, I suggest that you leave this string on your project, because this string would make it very easy to attach this light flower onto anything. So let's say we want to, let's say we put lavender, make a lavender bow or something on something. And you can wrap this around whatever project you have, and you can knot on that string and tie it on with the string onto your project. Or you can use some of the string to help it to glue down or stay down. Then there's another thing sometimes I do with that string. Sometimes I'll take that string and leave it upwards, and then you can allow that string to help you sew you with just a needle and thread, or just right through one of the buttons. See if we have, there was a giant button that I had. Here's a small button. You can actually put the button, this through. For this kind of shank button, I'm going to put it through one way, and then, which you don't have to do it this way. You can just put it through. Oh, thank you. Well, I craft so much, and I learned early on that I didn't know that, I don't know. I didn't know that I was creative, I guess. I don't know. Although I should have known, because I raised my children and creatively. I taught them, I homeschooled them. So as you can see, now you pull it through around. So somehow I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'm not sure why I've started feeling a little better. I hadn't been having enough energy to even craft lately. So you can see now I attached that shank button with the string, and so you can knot it again, which I'm not going to knot it because I'm not going to completely knot it, because I may use that again as a flower center, as another sample. So you can see how easy that flower was to make. And so if you make these types of flowers and you notice one petal is a lot longer than another, then I usually try to see if I could see which petal is with it, and I'll kind of pull the other side and measure it. But make sure that when you finalize this and you use it on a project, that you do use some glue, because it depending on how tight you tied this string here, it might, come off. If say that you're going to wear this for you can, this is actually good enough for you to sew onto your dress, or sew onto somebody's dress, because this is not going to unravel, and it's fabric, it washes. Even this is a button, and then so you can use the string, make it longer, and then you could sew this on to your garment. So if this was a dress, you can just take it and stitch it on, and then that would be a beautiful flower, right? Or another idea would be that, let's say, you have a stretchy fabric, or you have a headband. You can take that headband, and let's pretend that this is a headband, and you make yourself a wristlet, and you can sew this on to make a wrist flower. There's just all kinds of things you can do with these. You can use them in all your crafts. And depending on what you use to make them with, then that's how they'll come out. So there's one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the satin because I want you to see how to work with satin. Now this satin, usually what I do is I examine my satin because their satins is, yes, you can make a corsage out of that. If you take this, you can use, a headband and cut it to the right size that you want it. You can put a piece of lace as your background like that. And then you can have a bottom piece of this, or you can make it this fabric. Whatever. You can add more laces, and you can add, if this color, I don't know if it'll go, but you can add that. And then a purple flower on there, a purple butterfly, because there's purple butterflies. So you can add more to it or just leave it very simple. And okay, so now we're going to try this. So this is, yeah, this should be enough. Okay. So, and this is just with the same technique. Now you can also, I think I like to use this to make rolled flowers also, but I'm going to just cut it, I don't know, about there. I'm just guessing about 3.5 inches or so. I'm going to tear it. And now when you tear this, there are, it's hard to, it kind of does fray a lot when you tear it. As you can see, I cut it because I wanted it to stop. There you go. So if I would use this for a a la list technique flower, I would probably seal the edges with a flame so that it will seal this. And we can do that too. So you can see it. So these fibers, you can actually use them if you want. I don't always keep them because I tear so much fabrics. And you can use these as movements in your flowers. So you can say, put this piece underneath and add it as a center, part of the center, and glue it down. Okay. So this is going to be the same technique. And then we'll make a different flower. Since I have a big piece of that satin, I can make multiples. And you would do the same thing. Now I'm going to show you folding this. We could wrap it, but you can also fold these. And the difference is when you fold them. I'll show you right now. Okay, so that's pretty good size there. I need better scissors, I think, but oh well. And then I'm going to just round the edges like I showed you. But it's folded this time. Okay, and this is if this gives you trouble because it's so slippy slidey, use your hairpin to hold it together. Okay, can you see the hairpin? There you go. And then here we go. And that helps that slippy slidey. I'm just cutting off all this yuckiness. Okay. I'm looking here and I see folds there, so I'm just trimming it off. This is messy, huh? And now, one of the things I was telling you earlier is that when you roll it, then there's only one place you need to cut. But when you fold it, you'll see that I need to cut it here, and I need to cut it here, and I need to cut it here. So there's more than one place I need to cut it. And you can, so there'll be multiple places that you need to cut it. So I haven't been crafting a lot, so all my stuff's everywhere, and I've been moving my craft room around because I was trying to put things away so there's more room when my son comes to live with us for a while. So they might be here 3 months or 6 months, whatever it takes them to just make this big move. Okay, so, and whenever I do it, the goal that you have is you want each type of fabric you use, you may want to get closer and make it smaller, you want at least 1/4 of an inch here, or you might make it wider. Say it's very, very floppy. This is not very floppy, so I feel like, oh, I can go all the way. If you make it floppy, sometimes it stays better if you make this not so far to the edges. Okay, now before I do that, before I take it off, I'm gonna go ahead and show you that you can use this type of fabric will fray, so you can use a little bit of flame to kind of seal it. How much you seal it is up to you, and I do it sometimes here, a little bit at this point. Why? Because sometimes when I start putting the pins on them and moving this kind of fabric that frays. Just think of a ribbon when you use satin ribbons, how they fray and you have to seal those edges so they don't fray. That's what you're doing. And I'm just doing a little bit right now, and I might do more after I finish making it. And this is up to you. And because the one thing that might happen is that the petals, if you put too much flame on it, the petals may stick together. So I kind of sometimes do them like this. Mm. Some satins have cotton in them, and they might burn more readily. And some of the satins, when you burn them, they darken and they just give a that double color to your flower. It makes it look really pretty. So right now I'm just flaming a little bit. So tips when you're using your flame. This already feels extremely hot. Okay, so I don't always use a lighter, but I have been because it's handy. I have it in a drawer over there. And if I touch this, it's already hot. So when you're using this, don't go like this straight up and down when you're doing your stuff. I go this way and the flame goes up, and I make sure the flame is away from me. Notice I'm tilting my hand this way, and I already touched that and it feels hot already. So they don't last very long for you to be able to use it. So then you do the same thing. You open it up. Can you see how that stuck together? Right there. That's because the flame sealed sealed the fabric together, the little strings. And I see a lot of, I don't know, I did trim that. I'm going to leave it. And then again, you do the same thing now. Let's say you're doing it and it's too bulky. Or you take off some of the petals. Now, every type of um of fabric you use, you have to experiment. If your fabric is very thick, you should make flatter flowers with it and layer them instead of using the whole fabric. Let's measure how long this is before I actually put it together. And if it's thick, you can also use a larger hairpin. The larger hairpin might also help. So this fabric right now is about 10. I can either make 2 flowers of it. I'm thinking I'm going to just experiment with it. So it's about 10 inches or so. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals. So if I cut it in half, I might be able to make 2 and put them on top of each other. Or I might be able to just make a big one. I'll see. And I only have a small pen. I'm sure that there's bigger pens around here. I'll look for one in a bit because I might need a bigger pen for this. So can you see now? Look how pretty it's starting to look. If I had a bigger pen also, that makes it easier to work with this type. But, all right. Oh no, this is good. This is a medium weight. I think that like this is probably something that's kind of like you might get at Walmart, but there used to be 2 types, and they're all lightweight, and they make beautiful flowers. It just does. This makes beautiful flowers. And the thicker ones are harder. If you buy the really expensive satin or you have a really expensive satin type thing, it's a lot thicker, and it might make it much more difficult for you to make a flower like this. And I'm going to show you a different way to make a flower with this satins. I'm going to make a puff flower with it, and I've never shown anybody, you guys, how to make it with satin. And it actually makes really pretty puff flowers. I'm not sure, I've never made it with this particular satin, but you can experiment. Oh, and that's what we're going to do. Now, we do this. Oops, I forgot to. Let me do one more twist like this, because when you use satin, it can be more slippery. If you hear music, it's because I have my window open and letting in the fresh air. This year, this is like my 4th or 5th year in Idaho, and our weather has been a lot of rain this year. I don't know, I hadn't really ever experienced that much rain. And but one thing I love about Idaho is that even in the summer, when it's, it could get over 100, but it usually doesn't last very many days. and it usually cools down a bit at night. But I'm doing it, I'm trying to find my center point so I can, um, where is it? It's that one right there. I know that. It's very obvious, but look, because one of them has a lot of, there we go. Okay, so I am going this way, putting it to the back. And now look, it's quite misshapen. I'm going to, some of the fabrics you use, you do have to shape your flower a little more than others. And if you're going to make a lot of flowers with a particular fabric, then you get used to it and you figure out what works best for that particular flower. And so like here, I see this looks kind of long. I wonder if I messed up a bit. And so I try to find it on the other side. It's probably this one that's short. Okay, and then I usually pull it up this way and give it a nice twist. And then I'm gonna knot it again here. All right. So now I've shown you before that when you work with these types of flowers, we can put more flame to this. I probably would. I like a lot of flame on my satin flowers. But you can see how pretty they come out. They come out really pretty. And like I said, if this is too hard for you to work with, you could have cut it and made 2 flowers and then put them on top of each other. And what I'm doing right here is this one's upside down, so I'm trying to twist it so it looks like a petal that's forward. Okay. And okay. So not all of them like fall right into place as easy as every single one. Every single one doesn't always fall right into place. So you might have to move around. And the more you move with these ones, you can see it's fraying. And if you like the fray, then you keep the fray. If you don't like the fray, then you seal it. And a lot of times I'll take it like this, and I'll take my flame and I'll seal it a little more. And when I'm doing this, I'm not like completely, look at, talking, started burning it. Okay, if you make a mistake like that, which you can, you just take your petal, give it a trim. I was looking through the camera, so there you go. You can cut some of that off. So what I was trying to tell you when I was burning it is that when I'm doing the flame, I'm not actually completely touching the entire flower. And at that point, when I stopped to look, I was touching the flower and it burned more. So you can do it as much as you want. And sometimes you can get that little flame. See, it's not completely touching. That's what you want, to kind of get it so close that the heat that's rising up gets it, but not so much like that it burns it. And although that looks pretty, the way it curled down, I would probably leave that. I'd probably make more like that. So this is up to you how much you do this. So you, like I said, use the hot air that's going up, not so much the thing. Now, with all the things that we have in here, I mean, there's so many things you can do with this one. You can take the bigger little blings that I gave you. You can take a small one of these and add it to the center. That by itself looks cute. Let me push this more down. There you go. See, that by itself looks cute. You can take a piece of this lace or this lace. I'll take a little piece. I gave you guys some of this lace in this kit. And it's very, very forgiving just to do your centers. You don't even have to, you can take this and you could have made an all Liz technique flower, or you can just do this. You can see, look, it's just 2 pieces of strips and glue them down. I'm gonna turn on my glue gun. I do not even have it on, so that when I make these, if I need glue, I can use, grab that. I told you I wasn't prepared, but I just decided at the last minute. So see, this is how you can make a lot out of like the kit. You can just make a few flowers, and that's very simple. Then we have, I gave you some of these little daisies. See, you're adding layers, very simple way. You can also add a layer like this. Let me try the piece. This is a piece of that nice, beautiful fabric I gave you. And let's make it more like a circle. Let me cut into a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be rough. And that's one of the things I want you guys to know. You can take your scrap stuff and here's the circle. And here's more. Gives it more movement, more layers. And there you go. And you can see that you have just little flowers with a little bit of lace on top. You can use the strings that I put in there, and those are just some of the fibers I put in there was just a piece of yarn. And then also you can do this a bunch of layers, and you can make other flowers and add them on top. You can use the pearls that I gave you, I put in the kit, or you might have them in your stash, right? Then that added some dark color. You see that? Just something. This is what I mean. Why you want fibers. Oh, thank you. Yes, if you leave the fray, it could look more rustic or shabby. What I'm trying to show you is that when you make things, you don't always have to have exactly. You can use your imagination and easily go in there and just, oh, I did that. I'm saying, oh, that's too much purple. So you can pull some out and just, or they're too long, you can trim them. So this is up to you, how you want to do it. I think I'm going to leave two, and then I'm going, because I thought that was too much, and then I'm probably going to trim them after I glue them down, but I'm not going to glue them down right now because my glue gun, I barely turned it on. Okay, so that's just what you do. Just simple. I used a piece of fabric, scraps of lace. I'm sure you guys have scraps of lace, and a little flower, but it could be anything. It could be a button. It could be something beautiful, like one of the purple blings I put in the lots I showed you guys earlier. Or it can be that little flower, okay? So there's two flowers we made. All right, so that's what that, and now this one, let's do this one next, and then we'll do some more satin. So this one right here, we probably need a needle and thread for this one. Or you can make one like I showed you before, but I don't do a lot of needle and thread. A needle and thread is not all of this technique, but I do make my flowers. And I'm just using my same cotton thick lace. You can use thinner lace because it'll probably thinner thread because it will probably do a better job than this one will. It's thick. So if you go along here and you take this beautiful, I have this available in this lavender, pink, and white, I think. Maybe blue. I might have blue too. I might have it in blue. And then all you do is just take take it and you just go run your thread around it. And on the edges. I'm not doing very good. I can sew a little, but I don't sew a lot. And I mean, this is a type of flower that everybody knows how to make. There's so many tutorials on how to make flowers, and you can see how pretty it just turns right into a flower. What I'm looking at is to see if I should cut it in half or just keep it whole. We're going to just keep it whole. Let me see. I think this is around 8 or 9 inches, maybe 10 inches. I don't know, but I'm just going to use it all and just sew you up. And I'm doing just big ones. You can do smaller ones. There you go. So these are actually my scraps, and sometimes my scraps turn into a mystery kit, but this time I didn't have enough scraps to make it into a mystery kit. I cut out the right amount of stuff. Okay. All right. So these flowers are so easy to make, and they're beautiful and big. Okay, so let's see. I hardly ever make flowers like this. I always use my technique. I don't know why. I guess I might do it for lace, but even lace, it's so easy to use my technique for most of the laces that I use. Okay. Oh, I didn't knot it, and I need to knot it. Come on, knot it, Liz. I'm all thumbs when I'm using needle and thread. I do hand sew a lot, hand sew sometimes when when I make my angels or different things, but not a lot. And I do have a sewing machine. I do sew things, just not a lot. It's not like my forte, but I sometimes I want to make things, but I'm so busy running my Etsy shop and just doing this stuff that I don't. Okay. So there we go. And just simple flower. This one was sewn, but I've shown you how to make them rolled before too. Um, and let's grab something else that I have scraps here. I have this piece right here. So let's use this. Maybe I'll get one of the flowers off. And this is in the kit, in the purple kit, lavender kit. And I decided to make the lavender kit $18, and it's already in my shop if you end up wanting one. There you go. So you can leave it like that, but I think what I want to do is I want to cut it like this. And then I'm going to take this piece. I don't waste anything. And I'm going to cut it in two pieces. Uh-oh. And then I'm going to add it. Let me see if my glue gun is warm yet. It's warm enough. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Stick it to the back. Just let it stick out there. And then I'll stick this one in here. It's kind of a little more fragile, that piece, so I'm going to put a little glue like that. Make sure it sticks down. Okay. Right, stick it out. I think this is where where's that little piece would look cute. This one? Would that look cute? Not sure. Oh, I'm going to take this over here. No. All right. Let's use this. You can see how it will change the look. This one has a little bit of yellow on it, just to put a pearl in the center. Oh, the biggest flowers I've made, I have a video where I did show you when I made these big 5, 7, 8-inch flowers for a customer who she sent me an old wedding dress that I don't know if it was hers when she was married, and she said she wanted to make flowers out of it because she wanted to put the flowers on her Christmas tree. So she sent me a red party dress and she sent me a white wedding dress, and the white wedding dress was kind of like hard to get to because it was just the style it was, but I do have a video out there, and I made them big flowers, and I put them on a wired stem so that she can just stick them into her tree and put them all around her tree. See that? Now, if you bought a lot of this trim, you can always make it like add some around or make it bigger and bigger if you use that type of trim. I've done that before too. You add a piece on the bottom, and then you just keep going round and round. That's what you can do with that. But you can see how pretty that looks. I'm going to glue this one down now. Where are the pieces? Now that I have, so this one I had a piece of the round lace first, and looks like I need a glue stick in there too. I moved my craft room around, so I'm not sure. I'm looking for the pieces that I cut. Where are they? I don't. Oh, wait. I think I found them. There's one. There's one. Well, I found one, so we'll put one top. Let me see. I'll put a little bit of this, one of these, and this. See if I get enough glue. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm just putting a tiny bit. And then I thought these were too long, so I'm going to just cut them a little. And it's just a piece of like a fiber. I call it fiber, but it's really a piece of a yarn. And I want to cut it smaller. So depending on the style that you want your flower, if you want to bring out a little bit of purple, then you can put anything that you have that's purple in there. Another piece of fabric, which we have some. So there, that one's glued down. Now I'm going to glance around, see if I can find my glue sticks. Like I told you, I haven't been doing a lot of crafting lately, and I moved my craft room around. Oh, they're there. So everything's should be more organized when you move your craft room around, but you know me. And this one came out pretty flat, so you can put more. This one's not two. So there's two. Okay, now I think this is the last one. Oh no, I guess I should make one out of this. This one makes pretty flowers too. Okay. Now, although you don't have enough probably of this fabric to make the flower I'm going to show you. 1, 2, 3.5 out here. I'm going to still show you how to make it. And I've made puff flowers. I've shown you guys how to make puff flowers before. And you're gonna see why why the satin will make a pretty flower. What I'm doing is I'm just cutting it about the same width. And you can just use scissors, or you can tear it like I do, and it makes a mess. Most satins seem to be able to tear, but they curl up, things like that. See how curled that is? So you work around it and you do it the way you like. And I don't know, I'm just always lazy to cut. You'd think I would, since I have this green board in front of me. Although I need to buy myself a new green board, because this one, I've used it, I put heat on it and it's bulging. Okay, so we're going to take this long strip, and this particular strip is, I don't know, a little more than a foot, probably about 14 inches long by almost 4 inches wide. And we are going to make a puff flower with this. So the puff flower, and making a puff flower is quite easy. All you do is fold it in half. And I have videos on how to do puff flowers in more detail. Although I just messed it up, it's okay. Oh, you hear the dogs, huh? That's because I have my window open. It's the neighbor's dogs. Currently, we do not have any dogs. We have fish. I have fish for my 8-year-old. It's one of the ways I'm trying to teach him responsibility. He seems to be blossoming in that area. And I have out in the pond, we have a small little pond, and it was really my now adult son's pond that he kind of did when he was 16. He started a pond with turtles, and now we moved over here, and he still made another pond in our backyard, and it has turtles and and some koi fish and goldfish. And it's not very big. I would say, I don't know. No, I don't know. I guess I can't say how big it is, but it's pretty small. He dug it himself, and he, you know, when you have children, especially boys who are a little teenagers and older, I'd let them do a lot of things, because I'm like, that's better for them to be busy with things like that than it is for them to be, um, you know, doing a lot of other things. So I just folded it and glued it down. And then now I'm just trimming the edges because of all the fraying it's doing. Okay. All right. So this is two strips that were about 12, 14 inches long. That means it's about 28 inches. I'm not sure how big of a flower it's going to make, but at least I'm going to show you how to make it. And what you do is you start cutting it. And for satin, I found that a quarter of an inch or a little bit wider can make it. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting strips along this folded side. The part we glued is down below. I folded it in half just so that I'm doing two cuts at a time. And I'm making this a little, probably about a quarter of an inch or a little bit more. Oh, I don't know, I just might close that. Is that bothering you, my neighbors? We're going to get them on video. A lot of times during the summer times, the teenagers are not at school or whatever, and they're out sometimes, at each other's houses. And sometimes they're walking by and they're really loud, hanging out with each other. Okay. So if you do this, I've shown this before, if you do it and you accidentally cut all the way through, what I do is the lower down you're able to go here, when you cut this, if you can go all the way to leaving a quarter of an inch here, then it actually makes your flower a little bit flatter and not as thick. So that's probably the best. Oops, see, I went through on that one. Okay, that's okay. I'm just going to put this on the side. If I want it later, I can do it. But open this up. You can see it's just a bunch of strips. I'm going to do the other side too because I know I'm going to need the other one too. I need more. Okay. I'm just trimming off this brain part. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. So pretty satin makes pretty puff flowers. I always say I'm gonna list my flowers after I make them, and I never list them. I might just grab them and one day. When I make the lots, I'm encouraged to make like the kits, like these ones, because I'm saying, man, I have a lot of stuff. I need to put something together. And some, like I said, some of the stuff I get are brand new, and maybe they're previously owned pieces sometimes. And sometimes I just find a deal and I buy it, and then I plan to resell it. And sometimes I buy things for samples to see if I want to list it in my Etsy shop. What I try to do in my Etsy shop is I try to have a variety of things that sometimes I like to put things in price ranges. So if you see a trim for $3, I'm trying to make more $3 price ranges for something. I bought some milk silk the other day, a scallop lace, and I said, okay, I'm going to try and see if this will sell, because I want to put some things for $3 a yard. Because, it's hard sometimes. You want things and you can't always get them. Anyways, so here we go. I think I'm going to open this up and do my last ones. Okay. Now, how wide you make these don't have to be exact. Sometimes they can be a little thinner and sometimes a little wider. Okay. So at this point is usually where I get this and I go like this. I kind of close my hands and I pull it through like this and I put it over my trash can. So I'm going to pull, let me see, do I have, I'm seeing if I have something I could put there. No, I'm going to do it over my trash can because I don't know, you might be able to go in to see my trash can and see my mess. Anyways, I just do this to it like this. And then it basically, you saw that how much this frayed? Well, this makes a very pretty shabby flower because it frays so much. It just, you do this. The reason why you want to do it in your trash can is because there's a lot of little pieces that come out because it does fray. So every cut you did. So I don't want a big mess. That's why I said I'm going to do it over my trash can, not on my table, because I make messes. I'm a messy, messy crafter. So as you can see, I'm just going like this and pulling it down and shaking it into the trash can. So most of it goes into the trash can. No, that's good enough. We could do it more, but right now my goal is just to show you how to make them. So now look at all the frays. See how they come up? Well, this makes a very pretty flower. Now, I usually like to start my flowers with some type of a pen. Now, the pen will leave a center, a hole in the center, which usually it's fine. You cover it up with a bling or another piece of lace. But you don't have to. You can fold it and make them really tight. And then you just, all you're doing is going to glue it. Oh, I just got this snagged. Now, let's see. And then you're basically just going to keep it level and continue rolling. I'm going to pull that out now. It's just hard for me to let you see it sometimes. Okay, so there we go. I usually put the glue here. So if you're going to make this flower and you would want to put this on a garment, it might continue fraying. Okay, so you need to know that. It may not wash well because it'll continue fraying. But if you're going to put it on and it's something you're not going to wash, then it'll probably work okay. If you're going to put it on a garment, you would want to use different type of glue. You would probably want to use some fabric tack, especially if it's going to get laundered or dry cleaned. It might be better choice. These flowers, I make them different ways. I make them small and I make them large. So see how pretty that came out? It's not done. I'm going to make it bigger, but I want you to see you can make it this size. Look. Now, when you come to the center, right here, you can make it flat. And then you can actually, let me see if I have something for the center. Let's see. Oops. I'm sure there's a button. Oh, this is the big button that's in there. That's in the lot. Okay, so say you put a center like that. It can get flattened. Or you can leave it up like this. And when I use it like this small, I'm trying to go further. When I make it small like this, where it's not just totally full, let's say that I'm making a project. Let's pretend this is our project. We have this beautiful fabric as a background, and we decide we want to make a collage of flowers, and we take, I'm not sure if this flower will go, but might not go with the colors, but here we go. You put it like that. You put a flower here, and then let's see, let's use these two flowers. And then you see you're putting two different types of flowers together in a grouping. This flower can easily go right underneath and make a pretty grouping like that. Can you see that? Beautiful grouping there. And then you can add other things, like say you want to bring out the purple, you can add you can add this right in here in the middle, up on top if you want. As you can see, I like to use these as insert flowers where they're actually going and you can see them on the side. That's why I would make it smaller. But then say you want it to be the main flower, which I use it as a main flower a lot. This is called a puff flower. I have tutorials if you go through my I just recently figured out something. I figured out that my personal stuff is all going onto my, like I watch or do, are all going onto the into my channel views. So you might see all this stuff I've been watching, and I watch a variety of things. Recently, I hardly ever follow like celebrity stuff, but I was following this Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, and so you probably see all the stuff I was watching, and I it's been cool. You know why? Because I when I watch something, I'm not like a person who always in style, even though I make beautiful things. I'm just not. I to find things that are going on trend. I'm not seeing what's most popular or anything like that. So all I did is I took the other piece and I just kept on rolling and gluing. Anyways, so why I'm telling you that is because I did start, and I get frustrated with the mainstream media. And what it was is that there were some lawyers that were actually watching the case, whole trial, and they were commenting on the whole trial, and that really interested me. I do watch like crime stuff sometimes, like detectives and true crime and that type of stuff. I also watch, classics and other things too, but this time I was like, wow, this is interesting, and I loved it because these lawyers, they're called there's I think what are they called, law law tube or something like that. But there's a lot of lawyers now that are starting to go in, and they're showing you more accurate things. So with that popular thing, I noticed now because I saw the entire trial and everything that happened. Now I know that the mainstream media, law tube, yes, law nerds, yes, I was watching Legal Bites. I think it's Bites, BY. And she was doing it where she was putting several of lawyers together at the same time, streaming while the trial was on. And I watched the whole thing. Look how pretty that is. I told you this makes the most gorgeous flowers out of fabric. You're doing it yourself, and look how full that is. Okay, so and then so you can decide if you want to come in here and stick up, if I can find the center, something right in the center, something small, a little flower, or this big button. But I like them also like this, just beautiful. And then you can make more of this. Oh, look right here. One of these things I cut through or something. You can either fold it back down and glue it or just cut it off. I'm just going to cut this one off because so you can glue it back down. But that's gorgeous, isn't it? It's all this the shine on that, and then the shabbiness. Oh, today's Johnny Depp's birthday, really? Happy birthday, Johnny. Okay, so all the stuff that the mainstream media is saying, I don't agree with the mainstream media because I watched the whole thing. But I never liked Johnny Depp in particular. But I got interested because I do watch true crime, and I like my mind to be challenged, and so a lot of times it isn't. So, sometimes I'm not feeling well, I'm just watching something. Happy birthday, Johnny. Anyway, so I was not a fan of Johnny Depp. He was just an actor. Actors are actors to me. I don't make them any favorites. But I'm not now a fan of Johnny Depp, but I am now know that he was telling the truth and she wasn't. That's my opinion, but really, and all the people in the court and the way the mainstream media is trying to spin it is not real or true. 21 Jump. See, I didn't even know I remember watching 21 Jump Street sometimes, and but I didn't even know it was Johnny Depp in there. I don't follow actors and stuff. They're not, that big a deal for him. I do enjoy watching actors, but I mostly like character actors. And I don't really even know their names. No, she did not lose because of the media. She lost because she lied. If you watch the entire, you can now stream the entire case, but if you just watch the closing ones, if you just watch the closing ones, guess what, Vanessa? If you just watch the closing ones, that's enough for you to know it's true what the lawyers are saying. After we watched it, I watched the entire thing. Uh, After I watched the entire thing, that's what happened. Is that I know that she was lying. She's lying. She made it up, and yes, he should have won. He should win, but they're trying to spin it to make you think that no. So as you can see, you can take this and you can combine these flowers. Oh, you are? Oh, yes. And the way they're spinning it, it's really sad for those of you who have been domestic violence victims because it she was lying. Yeah, most of the people who are DV victims know that she's not telling the truth because they experienced it and know she was lying. That's how most of them know. Yeah, she told a lot of lies. So that's what I've been doing, and so you'll see some of the things. But I would, if I think it's very interesting because many of us are very. I'm very disappointed. I don't believe the mainstream media at all, and so I was really happy that I found some place that actually are lawyers and they're talking about the reality. This is so sparkly. It's probably I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. But okay, I think that I don't know. I think that I showed you guys enough. I showed you how to make 3 flowers using different things. Did I say I was going to make? Oh, I said I decided I was going to make you one with this, right? Yeah, this will make pretty flowers too. This makes the flower. Now this fabric is a little more floppy, if you could see. Yeah, I'm happy he won and I support it, but I am finding myself laughing every time I see these reels on Facebook. Um, and I'm fine. I'm laughing because yes, that is what she did. It's like it's nobody's fault. So this type of fabric is a stretch fabric. You can do the same thing with it. You can cut it and you can make the petals. And the petals, this one will not fray. This one will not fray. So that way, I'm gonna make 3 flowers out of it. I'm gonna make them a little smaller. And what I did is I took my fabric and I'm just putting it in threes. I don't even know how wide that is. It's 1, 2, almost 3 inches, maybe 2.5. And I'm just gonna cut the fabric this way. You will find that when I put the fabrics in there, I really cut them really messy. So you have to straighten them out. And I'm just not. I just do it like this, all messy. I fold them and I cut them. That's why they're all not straight. So there you go. So again, this time I'm just gonna fold it too. That way I don't waste them. This one's gonna be thin. I'm gonna do it in thirds. So as you can see, oh, craps. Okay. Oh yeah, the main street that I hardly ever get into it either. I don't. I'm more of, I'll, sit. I do watch the true crime stuff, but and you guys are always welcome when you are on my channel to talk to each other too, because you know what? I cannot always see, especially if I'm creating something for you guys and talking, but you'll see that this one is a smaller, a little smaller, and I have made flowers with it before. You would have to have me what with Friday nights? Oh, Liz, I would have to have you live with me one Friday night live with you. Oh, you know, I You know, I will join anyone if you want me to join a live with you. If all I have to do is click a button. uh, but for me, I have to figure out like how to. All I use is this is my phone. That's all I use, and I've never really learned more. I do plan to get like a speaker and stuff, speakers and a mic for my computer, but I don't know if I'll ever get to doing a lot more. See, I don't know anything about that stuff. See, I don't know what to use or anything like that. It's confusing to me. And one of the things is when I'm not feeling well, I tell you guys I'm not feeling well. Yeah, you could try sending it, see if I can get on it. I don't know. If I can. Okay, so here we go. And usually when I do stuff, I do it sporadically. That's why I happen to feel a little better. So you could see how pretty that flower is. Yeah, if you try sending me a link, tell me who you are. Okay. Um, and you know my Gmail is Crafty Devotions. Yeah. Oh, I see a message right now. When I have the health issues, I get brain fog and I can't think clearly. So I love that when I'm not feeling well. That's why I like watching the lawyers, because they they keep my mind more crisp. And I'm feeling like sometimes when I'm not feeling well, my I get brain fog and I cannot think straight. So I feel like, well, that means that if I can't think straight, I think it's better that you keep on disciplining your mind to listen. And so I go from listening to sermons or watching them because I can watch them too when I'm doing my office duties, or to watching true crime. And then sometimes I'll watch some things on Netflix, or not Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore. I'll watch things on, I have Prime, Amazon Prime right now. Right now it's Amazon Prime. Right now I've been watching, I don't know what I've been watching. So see, you can make a pretty flower with it, with glitters. See? And put a center. And this the same thing. You can put, oh yeah, okay. So are you doing it on Facebook or YouTube, the live channels? Okay. So there you go. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay. All right. So then you can also make these into a folded flower. So I'm going to cut this into thirds. And you can see it's not actually an actual square. You can make almost any fabric into a folded flower, especially like if a fabric is very thick, it will make a folded flower better. If you make a folded flower, thick ones, I use like the upholstery type ones. There's some really pretty ones, and a scrap of leftover whatever. This one's a piece leftover, and I don't know what size this is. Let's get a ruler, and I could possibly cut it more if it's too big. This is about 3¼ by 3, so it's almost 3 inches. And then all you do is fold it, 1, 2, 3, and then you I glued in 2 places. I'll do the next one slower for you guys. And then you're going to do this all the way around. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then right here I glue here just to keep it together. And then you can add it right there. So can you see almost any fabric, you can fold it into little squares. I have detailed tutorials on some of the folded flowers. And then you can fold it strategically for this one so that it will show some of the glitter. But you can leave it, I'm kind of offsetting it a little. See? Offset, and see this side will have some. So you do it, but you could be more careful with it and make sure that the glitter's showing if you want the glitter. I'm not, because I'm just showing you triples. I do have multiple ones for this one. I know people ask me for more, how to make roses more. And usually when you make these, about 6 is good, but you can squeeze in more. Sometimes you can do 5 if it's really a big piece. Let's say you would want this type of a flower to be bigger. All you do is cut the squares bigger. And then when you you might make like the squares a lot bigger. And then you put a smaller one like this on top of it with the 2 layers, and you can make it bigger. So simple flower, another simple flower. I don't know. We could put this in the middle. That would look pretty. I don't have all the stuff I had in that kit with me. Oh look, I found a cameo here though. Oh, here's a. Oh yeah, a green cameo will look pretty. Okay, so let's see. See how pretty a cameo looks? All right, I think I'm done. Are you guys talking to each other? Make sure you guys message each other. I see some conversations going on. Yeah, see how pretty? This can be thicker. You could put another layer on top. You could strategically try to get those sparkles to show. So you can see how different. It's so easy to make flowers out of this stuff. And these can be used any way you want. And you can layer this more. You can put, like I showed you on the other one, you could put a piece of this or any other thing that I have. You could put this one on top and then, use it like that. It's up to you. I enjoy making flowers too. This is still one of my favorites, and I make these a lot. I put these a lot on my wreaths. I haven't made a wreath for a while. I stayed wanting to make one, but you know how it is. I explained that already. Well, anyways, I'm done. I'm ready to get ready. Yes, you can add a white center to that. I have that. Where's that other piece here? This would look cute. This one right here. You can cut a piece out of that and put that on there. Or just stacking them and layering them and doing little things to them is just your imagination really on what you can do when you're using this type of stuff. There's a little flower there you can add to the side. Cute. Okay, I think I'm gonna go. I don't know what time it is, but I know I need to get up and finish things, and I just thought I would go live and said I think I'll make a couple of flowers with them this time, because I know I can make flowers and everybody likes to watch me make flowers, and you can make flowers out of any fabric. Any fabric you have, make some flowers. The folded flowers are good for that floppy fabric. You are welcome, Sally, Carmen, Vanessa. Those are the comments I see. That you're welcome. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Sleep tight. Those of you who are going to sleep, good night. And by the way, if you do want to get one of the kits, it's in my Etsy shop right now, craftydevotion.etsy.com. And see you guys next time.